Well, today, guys, we're going to talk about the surveillance systems, the credit score system in China a little bit. I saw a video yesterday that I found to be interesting because I didn't realize, one thing I did not realize about China and their credit score system was just how proud they are of it. And they're tremendously proud. There is a video that I saw, and I can't tell you which one it is because I don't allow YouTube to track my history. But it was a diplomat and a camera crew that were brought into one of the cities, which was nameless, and they were shown the setup by which the command center, in other words, in which they watched the city. And I mean, it was impressive. And this is an example of what they actually see there. Right, because of the facial recognition software and the fact that everybody's well documented, you can see the various credit scores above the person's face, which is boxed in. Right? Is the technology really this advanced? Oh yes, it's been this advanced for a very long time. It's like artificial intelligence. They are out and out lying to you about how far along artificial intelligence has come. They don't want you to know how far it has come, right? And it will remain a well-guarded secret for quite a long time until you get used to things. And then they can release it, and it will just fall to the apathy that normally falls to in our Western culture today. Now, of course, everybody's going, this won't happen in the West. Sorry, guys. It happened in the West a hell of a lot longer, a hell of a lot sooner than it ever happened in China. You have something there, all Western countries, all non-Western countries as well, but it began in the West, called a credit score system. And people actually think that a blacklist like that is a good idea. It's not. Why is it not a good idea? Because the companies that go in, they write, like if the bank goes in and writes something negative about you, they don't have to prove it. All they have to do is write it. A pissed off bank manager can destroy your life. Do you really like the idea those people have that much power? Oh, well, we would never do that. Bullshit. People are inherently corrupt. Realize that. Every person who would ever listen to this, your predominance is to be corrupt. You choose not to be. Don't think you're inherently good and you choose to be bad. It's the other way around. And if you go into any religion and look back into creation, you will see that. Right? The choice was made. And so we have been under this in the West for a very long time. I know, we would joke in the 90s about, you can never get a loan if you actually need one. Well, that's true. Right? If you had the funds available that you could use to do what you needed to do, you had no issue getting credit to do it. Now, I don't believe in credit. I don't use credit. I have not owned a credit card since 2001 because I did not like what I saw coming in that industry. Aside from interest rates that would damn near kill you, you were encouraged to become slaves to debt, and I have an issue with that. If I can't pay for it, I really don't need it, right? And that forces you to save money, and that's considered a bad idea as well by the powers that be. But you see, this is coming. You are going to be under this very, very soon. And so how do you not be under this? You realize what is tracking these people. Now, they are downtown in their city, and the street cameras are picking them up. But do you realize what part of the reference is for that? Right? Facial recognition is not perfect. And it's going to be a ways until it is. This gentleman who was the diplomat of this thing, they scanned his face, and it came back as a youth without glasses. And in actuality, the guy was about 50 years of age. So it's not the facial recognition software itself is not perfect. So what do they do to back this up? How do they know that this guy here with his little kid and his social score of 11,845? Oh, this kid's got a higher one. All right, so he's done something wrong. Let's assume that this young lad here is a base. Dad's got a lower social score than his kid does. Unless, of course, they're doing it the other way around, which I don't assume they are. I assume that they are doing it the lower it is, the worse you are. But what do they do to back this up? Every person that's out there has a cell phone. Right? The cell phone, reference of the cell phone, because the cell phone will identify you as being here, and then working with facial recognition, they have a positive ID. Right? It's ingenious, actually, when you think about it. What about the kid? Does the kid have a cell phone? He doesn't need a cell phone. He's with his father. That's enough. You can assume that's father. Very easy to make those assumptions. Right? I find it fascinating today how misled people are, how people just don't get it. On LinkedIn today, I had a gentleman send me an invitation to join some group that he had created for, human rights. I declined. Why? We don't need more groups for human rights. When this is going on, you have no rights anyway. Right? This is arguably, and people will argue with me about, the most important topic of our time is privacy. Because your right to free speech is meaningless if you don't have privacy. Now, what does that mean? That simply means you cannot say something and not have them follow you around to discredit you after saying it. The amount of damage that can be done by this type of ideology is unbelievable. If, as an example, someone in China looks at this gentleman in the center, who I've centered out, and I shouldn't, but he's in the picture, I don't know who he is, and they have, of course, all of the information about him in front of them, they can destroy him because they want to. Because the guy sitting in that command center just doesn't like him. Do you know, it is so far in that country that everybody who is involved in this, of course, will see this, but they can actually go to jail for sharing it. That's how rigid the control is. And yet we have companies like Blizzard and Activision who are endorsing this by the very fact that they carry out business in China. Now, what if I was the governor of the world, so to speak, what type of thing would I be doing? North Korea and China, we wouldn't, and very much of the Middle East, we would not do business with, period. You are evil regimes. We will not do business with you. Have a nice day. Would I invade them? Would I be involved in their politics? Not at all. They have the right to run their country as they see fit, just as people of the West should be allowed a decision as to whether or not we do business with companies like this. We do not need them. There's going to be austerity and pain cutting ties with countries like China. Great pain, but not as much as the pain we are going to be experiencing a few years down the road because our politicians like this. The power mongers in Washington, in Ottawa, in London, England, in Paris, in Berlin love this. This is what they want, contrary to what they say. Because the biggest problem, boys and girls, when it comes to power is addictive. And this is, people will ask me oftentimes when I make statements about things like this is, well, why would they do this? They're doing this to themselves. Okay, so you have a problem with a drug, an illicit, illegal drug. Crystal meth, cocaine, doesn't matter what it is. You become addicted. You no longer consider the consequences of the actions that you are doing. You cannot even comprehend them. That's what addiction is all about. That's what makes addiction so damn dangerous. Whether it's addiction to social media or to cocaine, any kind of addiction is enormously dangerous. You watch people today, they're driving down the street texting, no matter what the laws say. Well, we need more laws. No, you don't need more laws. You need to enforce the ones you have, and you need to deal with this the root cause of the problem. And the root cause of the problem of addiction to your phone is Facebook. Right? You have to deal with the addiction. You can't. More laws don't change an addiction. Hey, people lose their ability to understand the consequences. And so when you're dealing with the greatest addiction that there is, which is power, do you honestly think you're going to get a rational decision out of these people? We'd like to point the finger and say that all these people are Trump bad, right? Trump's been addicted to his power for a very long time, long before he ever became president. Right? But there's no difference between Clinton or Biden or Obama or Bush or Cheney or any of these people. Trudeau is the greatest example of somebody who's addicted to power. He talks about understanding the people. He was a part-time drama teacher before he became prime minister. What does he know about running a government? And he's a trust fund baby. What does he know about people who are living in poverty? Nothing. But he's addicted to that power. He's addicted to that control. He's addicted to making the decisions that he believes are right because he needs to retain his power. And this is the reason that we are in a state of surveillance. We are all being surveyed. This video is being watched. The NSA will see this. And honestly, they don't really care. It's not like I'm delivering a secret here, and because they know that I think I've got 17 subscribers as of doing this, they know I have no impact on the world. Only together, guys, can we make an impact. Spread this video with your friends, like-minded friends. Don't bother with the people who don't think there's a problem. They can deal with their own problems when they get worse. Spread this information with like-minded people. Take back your privacy. If you haven't done the VPN thing yet, do it. Do it now. Right? Pull out the credit card or whatever. Better yet, use a PayPal account or something. But get yourself a VPN, especially on your phone. Turn off the GPS on your phone. Do you really need to know where you are? Right? Learn to read a map. Screw Google Maps. Learn to read a map. Learn to know your city. Know where you are. Study it. Use your brain. Don't use your device. And slavery did not end in the United States with the Emancipation Proclamation. It ended. It has never ended. It is now you are slaves to your devices. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Click the notification bell. Check us out on Patreon, because to do any good, we need your help. Have a great day. Catch you next time. Ciao.